I want y'all to hold on to some words from Colossians 3:22. Slaves, honor your earthly masters in everything. And do it not only when their eyes are on you and to curry their favor, but do it with sincerity of heart and reverence for the Lord. Amen?
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Reverend Green, for those wise words.
Daddy, they gonna sell me down river when no one come back from. I gotta run.
Look at here, girl. You go to Reverend Green Church. Ask him to pray for your journey.
Daddy, Reverend Green always preaching obedience.
So what I say, go to Reverend Green Church. Ask him to pray for your journey.
Yes, Daddy.
I'll be with you.
My daddy said ask you to pray for my journey.
You the one with the spells.
Yes, sir.
And you intend to run.
They gonna sell me south. Away from my husband and family.
Which means they motivated. Can you even read, child? Maybe nobody noticed you gone. Maybe you sneak back for daylight.
I ain't going back. I won't be free.
There's not much time. It's near midnight. You got to be miles away from here for dawn. Now I need you to remember what I tell you. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Fear is your enemy. Trust in God. The North Star will guide you. Follow that North Star. If there are no stars, just follow the river. If you can't see the river, listen for it. When the river split, cross the high bridge over the Russian Creek and head straight north. After a few days' time, Delaware River be on your right. Follow that to Wilmington. Look for a blacksmith and iron merchant named.
These important moments in Black U.S. history took place in 1779. African spiritual expression influences colonial religious practices. Black loyalists register in the Book of Negroes as they evacuate to freedom. Thomas Jefferson writes Notes on the State of Virginia, asserting racist pseudoscience that will shape national thought.
Did you know these facts about Benin? 1. Benin has one of the youngest populations in the world, with almost 65% of the population being under the age of 25 years old. 2. Over 1 million people were taken from Benin as slaves and shipped to the Americas for over 100 years, with the last shipment being in 1885. 3. Gonvai, a town on stilts in Lake Noku, is Africa's largest lake village and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, often called the Venice of Africa, and was founded by people evading being sold into slavery.
You cannot deny that you've not seen this symbol before in Benin. It is the royal emblem of Benin called Ada and Ebe. But seeing it is not the problem. If you are asked a question to differentiate which is Ada and which is Ebe, can you? Do you even know what they represent in Benin culture? Hello explorers. Today we dive into the rich heritage of Benin Kingdom by exploring two powerful symbols, Ada and Ebe. The Ada is shaped like a sword, only that it is curved at the end. It is more than a ceremonial sword. It embodies the authority and warrior spirit of the Oba of Benin. Whenever you see the Ada, you are looking at a centuries of power and tradition carried by the Oba and his chiefs during royal ceremonies. It is the ultimate symbol of strength and leadership in the Benin Kingdom. Now, let's talk about the Ebe. Unlike the Ada, the Eben is a symbol of peace and celebration. With its flat, leaf-shaped blade, it is used during dance performances and joyful events. Chiefs raise the Eben in salute to the Oba, showing respect and unity. The Eben reminds us that even in a kingdom known for its might, there is always a place for peace and festivity. Together, the Ada and Eben represent a beautiful balance between power and peace, strength and celebration. These symbols have stood the test of time, carrying the spirit of Benin culture with them. But did you know the Eben should never fall from the hands of a chief or the Oba of Benin? I will share that in the part 2 of this video. As always, I am Teddy the Explorer, bringing you stories from the heart of history. Please follow for more adventures.
Honor and respect, honor and respect, honor and respect. Divine all blessed greetings and salutations. It is another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. Hoodoo, Voodoo 101, powered, produced, promoted, sponsored, and supported by NOIVD, New Orleans International Voodoo Day. In Ouida, Benin, a National Voodoo Day is celebrated on January 10th. In compilation with this event, we created the New Orleans National Voodoo Day and now New Orleans International Voodoo Day. Please become a sponsor of something extraordinary. New Orleans International Voodoo Day is not just an event, it's a movement that celebrates culture, fosters education, and connects people from around the globe. By sponsoring this event, you're supporting a tax-deductible cause that preserves heritage, uplifts art and education, and fosters healing within the community and beyond. And we certainly continue to invite your participation, your volunteership, your support, your donations, and your sponsorship by visiting us at www.vodouday.org. Again, learn more at www.voodooday.org, VODOUDAY.org. And we're certainly grateful for your continued support and participation of this live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time podcast. Thank you so much for your continued support and participation in the live chat. Lydia Martin, we certainly appreciate you and your continued support. And greetings to you and yours, Daniel Neal, a faithful member of our community. We certainly do appreciate you and your faithfulness. And we are certainly grateful for our beloved co-hosts, who I will be unmuting momentarily. The beloved Queen Mother, Sister Toni Val Martinez. Also, Elder Reggie, we identify here as Green Soap, the leader and founder of Shrine of the White Cloth, also a committed member and co-administrator of NOIVD. We're certainly grateful for both of you all's continued support and participation. You know, the drums never stopped. The drums never stop is the theme and the direction for which I'm going to go in for this evening.
Ayi, Jean-Jean, vine fewara. Ayi, Jean-Jean, vine fewara. Pupo semalo, don lamba. Yesase, li avec yeshan. Yitire, e coup diffisi. Yihale la ciprie. Sobrase tasse par derrière. Kitase solamente divon. Ye mare li ape que choix. Ye traînier li zuka la ville. Divon ni che la don kabir. Ye qui c'est l'effet complot pour couper coup à tout ye blanc. Ye mande li qui so compère. Pauvre Saint-Malo, pas dit à rien. Zizé, la lire sur la sentence. Et puis les fait dresser potence. Ye ha les choix serait parti. Pauvre Saint-Malo, reste pondi. Une air soleil désalévé, quand les ponts lissa la lève. Ye laissé son balance pour caranco gagner, manger. Haï, Jean, fine fait, voilà.
You hear that? The dirge to Maroon Chief St. Milo. That's not just a drum. That's a memory. That's a heartbeat that's been pounding in this city for over 200 years. They call this place Congo Square now. But before the maps, before the street names, before the tourists with their cameras, this was a clearing, a patch of earth where the enslaved came on Sundays. One day a week, one day to breathe, one day to remember who they were before the chains. They came from the sugar fields, the kitchens, the docks. They came with backs bent and hands blistered. But when they stepped into this circle, they stood tall. The French and Spanish called it Place Congo, and Americans didn't know what to make of it. They saw the dancing, the singing, the drums, and they feared it because they didn't understand that this wasn't just music, it was survival. You see, the drum was the first telephone. It carried the messages across plantations, across miles. It spoke in rhythms older than this city, older than this country. It spoke in the language of the Yoruba, the Fan, the Congo. It called the spirits, the Loa and the Orisha, to walk among the living. And that's where the voodoo lived, not in the shadows, not in the whispers, but right here in the open air, in the stomp of bare feet on packed dirt, in the call and response that braided voices into one. They say voodoo is superstition. They say it's dolls and pins, curses and fear. But that's the story told by those who wanted to break it. The truth is, voodoo is a map of the soul. Voodoo is nature. It is a way to speak to your ancestors when the world tries to silence you. It's medicine, it's music, it's memory. Even when the laws came down, the Loa, no more drumming, no more gathering, the rhythms didn't die. It just moved into the clap of hands, the shuffle of feet, the syncopation of jazz that was born just a few blocks away. Louis Armstrong carried in his horn. Mahalia Jackson carried it in her voice. Every second line parade carries it still till this day. And here we are in the 21st century. The skyscrapers rise, the tourists swarm, and yet on a Sunday afternoon, you can still hear the drums in Congo Square. You can still see the circle form. You can still feel the air shift when the Loa arrived. Some come to dance, some come to pray, some come because they don't even know why. Only that something in their bones pulls them here. And voodoo, it's still here too. Not the Hollywood kind, not the horror movie kind, the real kind, the authentic kind, the kind that lights candles for the sick, that leaves offerings for the spirits, that whispers blessings over babies, the kind that remembers. And as I draw to a close for today and begin to unmute my beloved co-host, because that's what this place is, a monument, not of stone, but of sound. but of energy. A reminder that no matter how much they try to erase us, we are still here. Our gods are still here. Our music is still here. So when you hear that drum, whether it's in the square, whether it's in a jazz club, or in the beat of your own heart, remember, it's not just a rhythm, it's a story, it's a prayer, it's a promise. And the promise is this: we will not be forgotten, not as long as the drums keep playing. And so please do come on in, beloved Joshua Nylan Tanner, my first priest, wild man for Black Hawk Voodoo, armor bearer, faithful committed member of the Source Han 4, and co-administrator of NOIVD, a Queen Mother Sister Toni Martinez, community activist and legend in her own right, and brother Elder Reggie, a Green Soap leader and founder of Shriners of White Cloth. What say you?
Hello, everybody in the listening audience.
Mm-hmm.
My illustrious panel.
Hey,
Congo
Tony.
Square then got smaller and smaller, even in my lifetime. Congo Square was that entire city block in the 60s. And that was even shortened from what it originally was when our ancestors danced there. It just kept getting cut down, cut down, cut down until now it's only recognized as that small area around the great tree, and that's sad. And blacks have been fighting for years. For years. I can't remember a time when they wasn't fighting to stop something else from being done in Congo Square.
Mm.
Our history is steadily getting crushed out. I remember when they wanted to put that Italian plaza in that space. And that just, that caused such a big uproar.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to continue to have to fight for our history in this city because outsiders are constantly coming in trying to develop something over our heritage.
Mm-hmm. Here, Sister Toni, in collective audience, can I come in, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sister. Divine Prince, great question being raised tonight. But what's moving me is last week on Instagram, I saw a reel. And this young boy was about maybe black boy, about 7 years of age. Like they do in the French quarters, they take an old 5-gallon bucket, turn it upside down, get some drumsticks, and they beat. They beat drums, and the tourists come and enjoy the show, give them coins or whatever they give them. But this particular reel that moved me and had me really, really upset, it was a white guy. He was a tourist. He called the young black man the B word. He said, B, that's the best you could do. But yet this child stood up to himself and said, man, don't call me that. And I was proud of that revolutionary spirit in this young man. But as Divine Prince was reading and said the drum, I don't know how this young man learned how to play these buckets like that, but he had a good rhythm going and he was doing a good thing with it. For him to be debased like that, it was uncalled for. And I wanted to add that into the topic as Divine Prince brought up around the drumming.
Yeah, at one time they was even trying to stop those kids from going in the French Quarter playing the buckets and tap dancing with the bottle caps on their shoes. With the gentrifiers that came in. That was a whole big old thing that had to be a city council vote. Another part of our history.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Our
Mm-hmm.
young people entertaining the people in the quarter that
Mm-hmm.
were coming and going.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that was part of the mystique of New Orleans also. The dances, the flambeau carriers doing Mardi Gras, even the second line dances, the jumpers, the marshals. All this has a syncopated beat about it that just naturally, that's rhythmic to the movement of New Orleans. You just don't see it nowhere else. Now, the drumming that the young guy was doing, where's these rhythms coming from? For a 7-year-old. Ain't no one set him down and taught him this. It's almost a innate energy that's coming forward. But as the drum beat and as things of music syncopated move around, spirit comes front and center to listen. Spirit is always around because they're looking for a message too, or to give a message. And this, all these things we are talking about continuously each night is really, really pulling back the layers of what New Orleans and what New Orleans voodoo is really about. And the way Divine Prince packaged it, it's everything. You have to respect the voodoo. You just can't separate, pick one, pull one thing out and say that's voodoo. No, you got to take the collective. And when you look at the collective and study it, it paints a beautiful picture.
Yes, it does. And when you think about it, all the things you brought up, the second lines, we have to fight for that. The flambeau carriers, we had to fight for that and really kind of lost that battle because people lost interest in it. It didn't go down well. And I think it's only one crew now, is that Bacchus or Endymion,
Yeah.
that have the flambeau. And at one time when I was small, that was a highly sought after position.
Yes.
To be a flambeau carrier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was born out of necessity because they night parades and no street lights, but it became a moneymaker, a money-making season for a lot of our men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They
It's just
depended on it because they got through dimes.
That's right. And the way they danced with those torches, it was just unreal.
Entertaining.
Yeah, it was unreal the way they could dance with that torch.
Yes,
Lit
and
like that.
dangerous. And
Yes.
dangerous.
Yes.
But we had to fight for that. We had to fight for the second line. We had to fight for the Black Masking Indians. We have to
Mm-hmm.
fight for everything. But you never hear of any other culture in this city having to fight for anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we got cultures here. We got the Greeks. We got the Irish. They all have their turn. They all have their events. But their events is always given a pass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we have to fight. And we made this city. I don't care what nobody say. Louisiana ain't diddly squat without New Orleans. It'll be Mississippi. It's nothing to come to Louisiana for, really. In any other place, that's a tourist attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you are a sportsman. Remember, this is sportsman's paradise. That's what the rest of Louisiana is.
Mm-hmm.
Sportsman's paradise. So without New Orleans, it would be no tourist industry. It would be no big money makers.
Mm-hmm.
But yet and still, they treat us like crap.
Yes. Treat us like crap and calling our youths the B word. That's it's no need, it's no room, it's no spot for that. You know, if you don't like New Orleans and what it has to offer, just don't come to the city. Because when you come here, you're gonna see the rawness. You're gonna see people who are moved by spirit. And that spirit show up, they're gonna give it the way it comes in. And that's just it. And I know it's not everybody cup of tea, but it is New Orleans.
And it's been New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like that for decades. So don't come here and say, oh, I didn't know it was like that. Yes, you did. It's
Yes,
been
yeah.
like this for over 200 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, Sister Toni, and being in alignment with the drumming, and some of the little research I was doing, and what had give the free people of color at the time a strong backbone was the drummer. They had a famous drummer from the War of 1812 up into the Civil War, and the drummers, the Creole drummers, had made a reputation in New Orleans for being such good drummers and leading the military cadence as they
In the
went forward
battle.
and
That's
started
right.
fighting. Yes. So the drum, as we study this history of this city, you will see the drum beat is rhythmic throughout the years in the city of New Orleans. And when we go back to voodoo, and this is what we talk about here, voodoo, the drum played an intricate part in that too.
The drum was so feared, it was outlawed for a long time.
Yes,
And
yes.
still, there are still some places in Louisiana on their law books for that city, town, parish, or whatever. You cannot play the drum. They
Mm-hmm.
never took it off. They never took it off the books.
Mm-hmm.
They never took it off the books. That's how fierce. It was so fierce. They felt it in their soul that this was a
Mm.
force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
outlawed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, well, y'all can only do it on Sunday and y'all can only do it over here.
Mm-hmm. And there's another tidbit about the drum in the city of New Orleans, and it might be considered pseudo, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. When you're talking marching bands, I'm talking nationwide. When I was coming up, St. Augustine Boys um, marching band was called the Marching 100 throughout the years. They was one of the best in the country. And then a lot of those guys would graduate high school and go to Southern out in Baton Rouge, and that was one of the best college bands in the country. And still to this day, those bands are sought after. But it was the drumming that gave the brass instruments its rhythm that it needed. Back to this drum. That drum played and continue to play a serious role with New Orleans.
Yes. And then that spread out to other colleges because like we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have the battle of the bands. Everybody wait for that drum circle to battle.
Ooh, yes.
That's what they want to see, them drummers battle. And
Mm-hmm.
other historical black colleges have picked that up also.
Mm-hmm.
That
That's what I'm
drum
saying.
line makes the band.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just the rhythm of the heartbeats.
Mm-hmm.
The drum is the heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. You know, and this is my last tidbit, then Brother Joshua, you could come in. As I was coming up in the spiritual churches, when they start playing the drum in the church, you just couldn't stay sit down. That's when the spirit would come. That's when the possessions would come. That's when they say all hell break loose. Right in the drums, even though it's a drum set, I guess a 3 or 4 piece drum set. It's not a single drum, but it's the drumming of the drum set in the New Orleans spiritual churches at that time that just would bring the house down. It was just something to see. Mm-hmm.
Good evening,
Yeah.
guys. Good
Good
evening. Good
evening.
evening.
Good
Yeah,
evening, Jack.
listen, you guys talk about the drum. Yeah, it's a
Mm-hmm.
very sacred thing. It's what was led. That's what leads ceremony and and voodoo our voodoo spaces. That's what leads our ceremonies and our I mean, in many different spaces,
Yeah.
from the war fields, sending messages, sending war beats, or sending communications to people on if something's proceeding or if something's receding, or if it's all a language, and a lot of
Okay.
people. I mean, being me, as music has been a part of us since we've been a people,
Mm-hmm.
and the drum has been the center. It's the centerpiece and the foundation of the music. You got to know when to. It tells you when to move on to the next thing, or when to sit still, when to pay attention, when to relax, when to move your feet, when to sit down somewhere. But it's a very sacred instrument, I would say, and a lot of people, I mean, those who are in spiritual spaces know that and understand that. Even with the masculine Indians and us with the drum that we call the tambourine that we play, so it has its role, it has its power, it always will, because the power comes from us. It comes from the people that
Okay.
actually hold the drums and keep the beat. And that comes from our heart, and that comes from our soul. And I think it's underestimated. I think that we still not say it's underestimated, but a lot of people have downplayed it through time. But it's the thing that lasts, and the thing that continues to keep people moving forward. And people use it for marketing purposes. People use it to draw people in, to get people's attention, and to gain whatever they want to gain from out of it. But it's a sacred thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Josh, let me ask you this. The drum is also used as what they call a call and response. I'm not a real instrument inclined person. I'm just not. But like say like in blues or jazz music, the drum sets the pace or sends out the signal and do the other instruments respond, like in a call and response manner. That's what it seems like to me when I listen to music, but I just never really played music.
Yeah, it actually is like a call and response. It's like a call
Mm-hmm.
and response. The drum set the tone. The drum. That's why the drummer always have a solo.
Okay.
If you notice, drummers always have a solo, even in rock and roll music and stuff today. The drummer have a solo, and when you think about it, the
Mm-hmm.
drum connects all black and brown people.
Yeah.
All black and brown people, Hawaiians, Mexicans, Brazilians,
Jamaic-
Haitians, Puerto
Jamaicans.
Ricans,
Yeah.
Jamaicans, all black and brown people have the heartbeat of this planet. Europeans are stringed. Their thing is the string, the
Okay.
cellos, the violins. Even though the banjo comes from Africa, our people didn't really too much lean to the banjo once we got here. But once they saw it here, they picked it up and ran with it. And, they even had the song about the devil playing the violin, the stringed instrument. And even the
Okay.
piano from Bach and Beethoven, they hit the keys, but the keys pull a string.
Good point. Mm-hmm.
They not drum people. They're not drummers. The closest European I saw that used a drum was the Vikings and the Irish.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. They definitely.
Vikings used a drum to keep the beat of rowing the boats. And the Irish did it because they did their jigs. It was part of their jigs, they circle dances they called jigs. But The heartbeat belongs on this planet to people of color, brown and black people.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's like the melanation in our skin. The melanation in our skin and the sun and its correlation with the universe and with with everything that we see in a three-dimensional space. I think all that has a connection to the soul, to the spirit world, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that the stars, the rhythm of the universe, along with the fabric of the universe, which is what we uh, what we really focus in upon, especially with ceremony and stuff when we speaking and calling in certain type of spirits. It has a certain cadence, a certain rhythm, a certain um, attention to bring in um, and allow those spirits to come in or to call those spirits in. It's all a
Mm-hmm.
it's all a it's all a dance, a very
Mm-hmm.
And they
spiritual
can't
universal
seem,
dance.
and Europeans can't seem to master that. They can't do that. Thinking about through even early music, going back early to the 20s and 30s on up to today, how many great drummers have they had? I only know one that's considered a great drummer, and they call him Blue Eyed Soul, and that's Phil Collins. Out of all the bands, but you always know they got great guitarists.
Mm-hmm.
They got great guitarists. They got great fiddle players. But drumming is something that's hard for them to master because they have no soul. And that's what I believe. It's not in them. They can't keep the beat. Look how they dance. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to keep the beat to beat a drum.
Well, what I do know from the ATRs, the years I've studied and still a part of it, it's the drum that calls the spirit forward in a
Yep.
way that other instrument just can't do. I know they speak of the guitar riff and solo of opening the portals to bring in spirit, but it's not to the same level as a drum would do. It's just not.
And then you got to watch what spirits they bring in because remember, the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was
Yeah.
playing that fiddle. Nah, yes, indeed.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. So
Would you
yeah.
look at your boy with the guitar um, at the crossroads?
Oh,
Yeah,
Robert
That was
Robert
a
Johnson.
Johnson.
string. That was a string instrument. He called the devil came
Mm-hmm.
with that
Yeah.
stringed instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we starting to run out of time, audience. I'm so glad you joined us. Divine Prince, we won't be having anything tomorrow night, will we?
Probably not. I didn't process, that this was a unique and special day for many people until just a few hours ago. So we'll probably take tomorrow night off. I may air like a long playing video,
Yeah.
but we can take tomorrow night off.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to turn it over to the Divine Prince to thank all of our listening audience on our other platforms, and then have Elder Reggie close us out
Mm-hmm.
with his announcements and his words of wisdom.
Yes, and
Okay.
thank you to everyone who showed up in Instagram. Eros Photography Art Direction, Think, Plan, Save, Moon Occults, Red Bean 716, $1 Billion B 777, uh, Jasmine Sade Art, and One Rich Girl 5-star. We certainly appreciate you all for coming through, and everyone who listens through my Facebook page, my Facebook profile, our Facebook groups, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter. And we certainly look forward to meeting you here at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on tomorrow, but most certainly live on Friday. All is a blessing.
Peace. I'd like to read our advertisement, and it's the next moon ritual prayer and application ceremony. It will occur on the next new moon, Friday, December the 19th at 6:30 p.m. in the zodiac of Sagittarius. That location is 710 Cluid Street, and it's a ritual spiritual warfare. It's a continuing ritual that we are doing. And if you're in the local New Orleans area, if you're in town that weekend or coming in town that weekend, please come by and be in ritual space with us. With that, I say, lest we forget, the spiritual medicine of voodoo brings healing and relief from the shackles of slavery that binds the master and the slave to the same chain of social division. We continue to have work to do. We continue to push forward. With that being said, I say ashe, ashe, ashe. Good night, everyone. We love you, and we'll see you Friday.
Good night, everyone. Have a nice and safe Thanksgiving. No matter how small you may think it is, we all have something to be thankful for.
The real history behind this holiday. Growing up, I knew that what they told you in school about Thanksgiving wasn't true. That's not the true story. The true story behind Thanksgiving was, after every killing of a whole village, these European settlers celebrated it, and they called it Thanksgiving. But it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln became president that it became an official holiday.
We take this time to remember our elders who lost their lives due to what really happened.
Growing up, I would be kind of annoyed that they didn't know what actually happened on Thanksgiving and that they're actually celebrating the deaths of many people and many tribes that were lost.
Happy Thanksgiving, America.
Please, allow me to show you something.
They say I'm crazy and that might be true. I got this white in my DNA, yet I'm coming for you. It's time we turn the tables, flip these motherfuckers on you. I wanna see you hanging from trees. It's time you pay for your dirt and your showtime. You created the monster, you created the beast. Now all this savagery you just gon' reap. I'm coming home, daddy, to the plantation. And I'm taking the lives of everybody, including the children, on some Nat Turner away. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. I met my girl Harriet at the gate. If you wanna know how she doing, yeah, she straight. But she had one question: when we gon' get up? All that talking tough, yeah, we don't walk it tough. She got it locked and loaded, got that piece up on her side. She looked me in my eyes and said, "Meet you ready to ride?" Moving forward, you gotta use both eyes. Watch your front and watch your back. Keep your hands up on your gas. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. He sit at the table, but he don't order no bacon. He greet me in those words, assalamu alaikum. Got them glasses on his face and them waves in his head. He go by the name of Detroit Red. He looks me in my eye and says, you only get one try. Know that your biggest opposition will come from the inside. I know you wanna love them all, but don't even try, because they'll smile up in your face while plotting your demise. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down.